friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to go through all the books I've got in the last month or two. I'm not going to go in any particular order. I'm just going to go top to bottom in my stacks. The first book I've got is The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. And this is a mystery thriller book that is about a maid who works for this family, and then really strange things happen with the wife of the family where she accuses the maid of doing really weird things and stuff like that. I'm really excited to read this. I hear it's really good. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and then I know that there's a sequel, The Housemaid's Secret, which I'm excited to read as well once I finish this. My next one is a very popular one, but I have not read it yet, and it's A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I've actually never read anything by Sarah J. Maas yet, but I'm really excited to. And I don't want to go into this knowing too much because it is such a well-known series that I don't want to spoil everything for myself. So all I know is it's about the Fae, and I know that the first 3 books are in Feyre's point of view, and then there's a novella, and then they switch into somebody else's point of view. But I'm really excited to read this. My next book, keeping on with fantasy, is a fantasy romance, Half a Soul. Let me read this for a second. So it's just about a fairy girl who lost half her soul. It's a Regency romance book as well. So she's looking for a suitor, but she gets into a lot of mayhem. So I'm really excited for this. This is a fantasy romance. So all the fantasy romance girlies, be excited for this. My next one is a part of a series that I'm really wanting to start. I hear nothing but good things about this series. But I know that, I don't know if it's this book or other books within the series talk about really heavy topics, so you might want to look up trigger warnings for, I don't know if it's this one or the rest of the books in the series, but just an FYI about that. But essentially it's the Wayward Children's series by Seanan Mcguire. This is the Every Heart a Doorway, the first book in the series, and it's about children who have realms or worlds that they live in, but they were taken out of their worlds and they're wanting to go back to their original worlds, and it's set in their school setting for that. So but I'm really excited to read it, and it's very short. All these books in the series are around 200 pages, if that. So excited to read this. The next one I picked up is Starless Sea. I don't know too much about this book, and I think that's kind of how I want to go into it. I know this is some people's favorite book of all time, so that really made me interested in it. And I hear that it's written really beautifully. I hear that it's lyrical writing. I don't think I'm going to get to this anytime soon. Next book I have is another popular one, Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. It's about a man who died, and he has the opportunity to come back for a week. And so it's going to probably talk about a lot of hard-hitting and sentimental topics. So I'm really interested to see everything that's discussed in this book. Next I have The Hidden by Melanie Golding. This book was featured in Barnes & Noble it was their book for either April or May, maybe. It's a mystery and it has detectives and stuff like that. There's a missing girl. I think it's going to talk a lot about the relationship between a mother and a daughter, so that's really exciting. The Thursday Murder Club is another popular book that a lot of people have read, and it's a mystery book where there's this group of elderly people who solve mysteries, and they get together every Thursday to solve mysteries, and then one day murder is found on their doorstep, and so they get to solve their very own mystery. And this is a series, and there's 3 books out currently, so I'm excited to go through this and read all of these. Oh, and short chapters. I love short chapters. So excited for this. Next I have The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson, and the reason I've got this is because I bought the Dance of Thieves duology because I heard a lot about that. I did not realize that there was a trilogy before it called the Remnant Chronicles, and this is the first book in that trilogy, and so I don't want to go into the Dance of Thieves duology without having the knowledge from these books. I hear you can, like, there's not, like, you're not missing things out by going directly into the Dance of Thieves, but I just want to read this beforehand, just so it feels like I've completed the entire, universe. This is a fantasy romance, kind of like Dance of Thieves book. We'll do this. Is a romance. It's part of another series. I am starting a bunch of series. This is the Fine Print by Lauren Asher. Very popular. It's the Dreamland Billionaire series. 3 books, follows 3 brothers and the family of these 3 brothers who have an inheritance of this really big theme park, kind of thinking of like Disney type of theme park. And so it follows their 3 different romances. And the first one follows Rowan and Zasha. And so I'm excited for this. Next book I have is an Agatha Christie, The Murder on the Links. I'm trying to go through all of Agatha's books. And so this is the next book that I have to read. So I'll just pick this up. My next book, a book I've actually read already. It's The Appeal by Janice Hallet, and I have another Janice Hallet book in here. I'll talk about that next. But anyway, this one is about a group of people who are putting on a play. Things ensue, and then a murder happens. And it's a mystery, but I don't want you going into this thinking that the murder happens right off the bat and you're trying to solve the murder from the very beginning, because the murder doesn't happen until like 75% of the way through. So you're more going there, so there's a lot of background, a lot of drama, a lot of problems and stuff developing before the murder happens, and there's a lot of twists. I really enjoyed it, but it's also mixed media. So there's emails, a lot of emails, text messages, and that type of thing. I gave it, I think, 3-ish stars, maybe 3.5 stars. The book is The Twyford Code by Janice Hallet again. And she also has this in mixed media, and I'm pretty sure this is all in audio files. Yes. So I think I might read this via audiobook, accompanying this book, just because I think that might be the best way to read this. Another murder mystery, and I love mixed media, so that's honestly why I picked this one up as well. But this one is about a person who found a children's book with a lot of different strange markings in it, and they took it to an English teacher, and the English teacher believed that there was a secret treasure code that you could use this to find the treasure, and it follows that. Next, I have a book by Celia Laskey, So Happy for You. This is a book about weddings, and it's a relationship book about like female relationships and the complexities of that. And yeah, it's about two girls who are best friends, and one of them's getting married. But I love weddings. There's so much different things that can go on that can escalate for drama, and I just think this will be a very funny, happy book about what it means to have friends. So yeah, a little lighthearted, hopefully lighthearted read. This book I've already read, Your Guide to Not Getting Murdered in a Quaint English Village. And it's a comedy type of book, so it's all kind of written with a lot of satire. It has pictures in it. There's 2 sections in it, and the first section, it teaches you all the things, you know, how not to get murdered, and then you take a quiz, and then in the second section you do the same. But so I really enjoyed how it kind of just brings you into the story even more by asking you those questions to see if you would actually get murdered or not. So yeah, it was a fun read. It's written by Maureen Johnson and Jay Cooper. Maureen Johnson, she wrote the Truly Devious series. My next book is Spy Family Volume 9. I'm excited to read this. I'm surprised I haven't read this already. It's the newest volume of Spy Family. I've read volumes 1 through 8 already. Yeah, if you've not read Spy Family, or if you've never read any manga, I would suggest starting the Spy Family because it is such a lighthearted, funny read. I don't think that anyone would dislike this. My next book I have over here is My Dark Vanessa. So this book is a book about a girl who was in a relationship, a teenage girl, with her manipulative teacher. So it's going to have a lot of heavy topics about abuse, exploiting relationships, and I believe sexual assault. So heavy trigger warnings on this. I thought it would be a very insightful read, and I hear it's very emotional. My next book's a romance, In 5 Years by Rebecca Surley. This is about a girl who ends up one night falling asleep, and then when she wakes up, she's 5 years in the future, and she lives one day 5 years in the future, and she has a different, I think she had a boyfriend at the time, but now she's married but with a different guy. Her life is completely different than what she had envisioned, you know, it would be. Kind of like that popular question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Well, it doesn't turn out anything like she thought she would be in 5 years, and then she gets immediately brought back to present time, and it's just that story. And I'm really excited to see how that all plays out, how she gets from point A to point B. This next book I have, The Recovery Agent. I was just reading the Six of Crows duology, and I love heist adventures where you're maybe like stealing something, or just pretty much heists in general. So I was wanting that same feeling in another book. So when I was at the store, I saw this, and it's about a girl who hired to steal lost treasures, heirlooms, stuff like that. So pretty much a heist story. Even though that's a fantasy and this is not, I'm thinking it still might give similar vibes, because I'm looking more for those like National Treasure type vibes. So I think that's what this will give. I am so excited about this book. Before We Were Innocent by Ella Berman. But I think that this is going to give we were liars type of energy. And I know that's very a hit or miss book for a lot of people. You either hate it or love it. I loved it. I love the type of book about, I guess, privileged youth or who get to have like private islands. A summer in Greece for 3 best friends ends in the unthinkable when only 2 return home. Yes, please. Yes, 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 yes. 100 times yes. I think this is going to be a really fun thriller with a lot of drama. Give me the drama. I want the drama. I'm excited about this book. I hope it lives up to the expectations I have for it. But yes, that book I'm super excited for. I'll probably read that book very, very soon. And then the last 3 books I have here are all nonfiction. The first book is Written in Bone by Sue Black. And it's a book about forensic anthropologist, and she kind of just goes through all of the things that your bones can tell you at the end of your life. And I just think that's so interesting, just being able to look at a set of bones and just be able to see somebody's story has, or at least parts of their story have been told just by wear and tear of their bones. It says it's an eye-opening tour through the human skeleton and the secrets our bones reveal. So that's exciting. So this next one is Breathe by James Nestor. And this one is a book about pulmonology, I believe. So it just seems like it's going to be a lot of different cool things that I might not know about breathing. The Lost Art and Science of Breathing. And the last book I have today is The Song of the Cell. Siddhartha Mcguire. I'm not so sure I pronounced that correctly. I think this book is just going to be a start to finish book about cell biology pretty much, and I think that it'll probably have a lot of in-depth discussions about operations and the cell and functions, and I think it'll be a very interesting book. That's all the books that I've gotten recently. I think it's like over 20 books that I've gotten in the past month or two-ish area. Thank you all for joining me and going through all these books. Excited to start reading these. Comment down below if you've read any of these or if I should read some of these ASAP. Bump to the top of my TBR. Thank you all for joining me today and see you next time. Bye.